last night, a gorgeous night. How about winning a series at home for a change and continue the run of good starting pitching that they've been getting?
Yeah, the Phillies starters the last 5 games have held the opposition to a .250 batting average. And Myers will face Emilio Bonifacio to start things off here at the top of the first inning. And Bonifacio tries a swinging slug bunt, and it's not high enough to allow Phillies to get to it. Rafael Furcal and Luis Castillo used to do that all the time and do it very well.
You saw the note when you were reading the lineups there, Tom. Bonifacio 0 for 12 against the Phillies this year, so he's trying anything he can to get on base against them.
Well, he's playing shortstop tonight for the injured Hanley Ramirez, who tweaked his groin in last night's ball game. They say that Ramirez could pinch hit tonight, but he probably can't run the bases all that well. And they just don't want to aggravate that groin, which has bothered him most of the day, and they have an off day tomorrow. In the air to right field, Jason Worth is there. And quickly, Brett Myers has one away here in the top of the first inning. Wheels mentioned that Brett has allowed 15 home runs this year, which is a lot. In fact, it's the most in the National League. But the good thing for Myers is that a lot of those home runs have been solo home runs. And although the numbers have not declined over the last handful of starts while he has pitched well, he hasn't had a lot of base runners with those home runs, so it really hasn't hurt him that much.
Yeah, he threw 3 of them the other night at Yankee Stadium. They were all solos.
Chris Coghlan now the batter, and he takes one for a strike into the knees. It's 0-1. Coghlan starting for the 3rd consecutive night. He has led off, he has hit 8th, and now he's hitting 2nd. The manager of the Marlins, Freddie Gonzalez, says that he likes Coghlan at the top of the lineup in the number 1 or number 2 spot because he loves the way he runs the bases.
He looks like he got a chance to swing the bat a little bit too. You know, it's really early. He has a nice short stroke.
Swinging the bat well is what got him to the major leagues this year. He hit .344.
Yeah, they're not sure about a position for him right now, but they certainly like his offensive potential. He's a kid that comes from, here's what he's done against the Phils in the series, a kid that comes from the Palm Harbor, Florida area, just north of Clearwater.
0-2 curveball pulled toward Utley. And quickly 2 away here in the top of the first inning. In that game against the Yankees, Myers did allow the 3 home runs, and he had somewhat of a rough first inning. But once he got out of that first inning, he really settled in.
He's had some of that this year in other games too, where he's had trouble in the first inning and settled in. And a couple times he's had trouble with 2 outs and nobody on base in the first inning.
They've moved Dan Uggla into the number 3 spot tonight, partly because Hanley Ramirez is down with an injury, but because his numbers are good against Myers. Home plate umpire for tonight's game is Wally Bell. Marty Foster's over at first. Marvin Hudson's at second. And the crew chief, John Hirschbeck, is over at third. John Hirschbeck, I thought, did a very good job in last night's ball game. A very consistent job calling the low strikes and the corners as well.
Well, we didn't talk about it. And one of the best things for a home plate umpire is he goes through the game and you hardly mention him.
2-1 the count.
The only reason that in the first game of this series, we talked about the home plate umpire a little bit. There's Joe Blanton, who was so good in that game last night, was because of the pitch, you know, that Myers had, and that brought attention to the game and to the home plate.
That pitch that J.B. Moyer had to Wes Helms looked like it was a strike. Still today, it looks like a strike, but it wasn't called a strike, and he wound up hitting a home run.
Right, and there's Wes, and the whole thing about that is, well, he didn't have to throw a pitch for him to hit out of the ballpark after that. Jamie would agree with that.
Whoops. There's a corner strike to Dan Uggla, who thought it was ball 4, and the count is full. Dan Uggla this year has hit .226 against right-handers like Brett Myers, and just .140 against left-handers.
It's amazing. They've had a lot of problem with left-handed pitching.
On the outside corner, called strike 3, a fastball at 92 miles an hour, and Uggla's rung up for the final out. 1, 2, 3 go the Marlins here at the top of the first. with the Phillies getting set to come up. Citizens Bank Park Irish Heritage Night here at the ballpark, and it is a gorgeous night with a perfectly manicured green fields on the horizon. And the Phillies lineup brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Shane Victorino had a little vindication last night. He's batting second in center field. Chase Utley, the second baseman, hits third. Ryan Howard is the cleanup batter once again over at first base. Raul Ibanez, the left fielder, hits fifth. Jason Worth, the right fielder, hits sixth. Pedro Feliz is at third base batting seventh. And Carlos Ruiz is at the catching spot hitting eighth, followed by Brett Myers, the starting pitcher tonight. And they'll face 26-year-old right-hander Burke Badenhop.
Burke Heinrich Badenhop. That's some name, huh? Went to Bowling Green University, and he's been a relief pitcher this year. Last year he had 8 starts for the Florida Marlins, and he is a sinker ball pitcher. Sinker, sinker, sinker. Throws a lot of strikes, and like all sinker ball pitchers, he needs to throw his ground balls, and those ground balls have to be at somebody.
Well, he'll face Jimmy Rollins to lead things off. Rollins hitting .228 with 3 home runs and 17 RBIs. And he takes one low. Jimmy is 1 for 9 in this series. Couple runs scored. And that double that you see there. Two balls and no strikes. We were unsure when this series began who the starting pitcher was going to be for the Marlins in this ball game. And Freddie
probably where Ricky Nolasco would have been, huh,
right,
Tom? And he just faltered this year.
Well, Badenhop or somebody else, and it all depends on how Badenhop pitches here tonight, is going to have to make at least 1, if not 2 more starts before they can get Rick Vandenherk or Anibal Sanchez or Ricky Nolasco back. That's what Freddie Gonzalez said yesterday. Badenhop, who was originally the property of the Detroit Tigers, is going to try to seize the moment. Good change up, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Scott Steltzler of Lenhartsville, Pennsylvania. The Phillies hit a home run in tonight's game, and Scott's going to win $200. Introducing McCafe Coffees at McDonald's, a new line of lattes, mochas, and cappuccinos. 2-2 is rolled foul off the glove of Jorge Cantu at first.
So curve, a fastball and changeup so far, and the fastball is a sinker.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Cardinals have defeated the Brewers 3-2. Nick Stavinoa picked up 2 RBIs for the Redbirds in that one. Milwaukee lost Ryan Braun last night. He was hit by a pitch in the wrist. And they can't afford to lose that bat from their lineup.
No, because they lost Ricky Weeks to a wrist injury.
2-2 is hit skyward down the right field line. Ugla and Hermida are there. It's Hermida who calls off Ugla. And that's probably a good thing if you're a Marlin fan, and there's one away.
Well, it's a much easier play for the right fielder coming in on that. It's a tough play for the first baseman. Has no shot. Ugla has the best angle, and he probably could have caught the ball. But anytime your outfielder can come in and call an infielder off on that play, they want him to do that.
Dan Ugla's made 5 errors this year, and he's more of an offensive guy over at second base than anything else. Has worked hard to make himself a better defensive second baseman. Shane Victorino now the batter, and Victorino takes a changeup for a strike. Victorino riding a 9-game hitting streak. Shane had a little vindication in last night's ball game with his 4-hit night. I talked to him today about that. I said, this is why baseball is such a great game, is that it didn't take long for you to wipe away that caught stealing from the night before in the 9th inning with your performance last night. And he smiled and he agreed.
It is one of the great parts about this game is you can have a really terrible night and come back and go get after him the next day and not have to wait a long time.
Two and one the count to Victorino.
Badenhop supposed to throw between 85, 88 consistently. Maybe he'll touch 89, 90, but for the most part that's where he's going to be, 85 to 89 with a moving sinker.
You said it before, he throws a sinker 85% of the time.
Yeah, and he's thrown with these left-handed hitters, Tom. This is when you're going to see a guy throw a changeup. A right-handed pitcher is going to use his changeup, and he's thrown about 4 or 5 changeups too.
Victorino ahead, 3 balls and 1 strike here in the bottom of the first inning. And ball 4, Shane's on board with 1 away.
Badenhop's been pitching out of the bullpen for the most part this year, so we wonder how far he'll be able to go in the game.
They said yesterday that he'd be between 65 and 70 pitches before they had to go into the bullpen. It's part of the reason why they've held back Christian Martinez, one of the guys they called up just a couple of days ago, to use him in case Badenhop doesn't go that deep in this game. He was acquired before last season from the Detroit Tigers. He was one of 6 players that the Marlins got in the Miguel Cabrera Dontrelle Willis deal.
Yeah, they got a lot of players, and one of them was a good-looking young pitcher, Andrew Miller, we saw here last night, who has a chance to be very good. We'll see. The potential and doing it are 2 different things, but boy, it's all there for him.
Keeping an eye on Shane Victorino, who has stolen 6 bases this year. Again, Badenhop, like the last couple of starters for the Marlins, he's a tall guy, 6'5". Takes a little while to get to the plate.
Prerequisite. It's amazing how many really tall pitchers they have. He looks even taller when he hitches those britches up like that.
6'5", 220 pounds from Harrisburg, Ohio. Time is called. Victorino looked like he was breaking towards second.
Well, this sinker ball pitcher, sometimes you try to stay out of double plays, but also you can just bleed a little ground ball. Here's a time called, and he's going to get out of there too, is Wally Bell. He knows he called that real late, and just in case the pitcher decides to throw it and the catcher's not paying attention, he's not going to pay the price. That was a pretty good move. A ground ball in a hole is not that hard to do right now off a guy like this and get a first and third out of it, because he throws so many sinkers, and left-handed hitter really don't even have to hit it that hard to get it through the hole.
See how many double plays he has been able to roll. 4 in 21 opportunities so far this year. And Chase has that wide hole on that right side, you can see there. 0-1 is lined towards center field, a base hit. Victorino's going to stop at second. And the Phillies have runners on first and second with 1 away. So for Utley, that's now his 13th hit in his last 35 at bats. I mean, ever since he was 0 for 18, he has been smoking the ball.
Well, and his manager thinks a lot of it has to do with his foot feels a lot better. Chase Utley's never going to tell you whether he's hurt or not. But Charlie said he kept looking at that foot of his and wondering how could he play with it.
Well, now with 2 on and 1 away, Ryan Howard stands in. Ryan with those 12 home runs and 34 RBIs. He's tied for 8th in the league in RBIs. And man, they have come in bunches for him lately.
Yeah, they cannot overshift him now with runners on.
Sometimes, though, if you're a defense, this shift works just as well as the other one because the shortstop is closer to the middle.
Right. It just depends. You know, teams are more comfortable playing him with 3 infielders on the other side and the third baseman playing shortstop.
Oh, and 2 the count to Howard.
This is the team when Ramirez is playing and they go into the overshift that he stays at short and the third baseman goes on the other side of second base. Third baseman is Helms tonight, and there is Hanley Ramirez out with that groin problem, and Wes Helms getting a chance to start his second game of the series. He came in early last night when Ramirez went down.
Oh, 2, he broke his bat, rolled it towards shortstop. Victorino tried to screen the fielder, and the throw is off the glove of Cantu. You know, I'm not sure if Howard may have beaten that out anyway. Bonifacio was looking over at Shane Victorino, then at Chase Utley, and I think that cost him.
Well, as you pointed it out, Tom, Victorino was hanging around out there trying to block his vision for as long as possible. But Bonifacio, he didn't come after that ball. You know, you're an infielder, even with a guy like Howard. Look how he laid back. Then he started to circle. Then he took that peek you're talking about. Why he would even look over there makes no sense at all. And then threw in the dirt. Cantu can't come up with it. So that's just a really careless play by Bonifacio to take his time coming towards it and then take that peek towards third.
Well, they've scored a base hit for Ryan Howard, so the Phillies with a couple hits in this inning and a walk, and they've got the bases loaded with 1 man down. And Raul Ibanez is the batter. Ibanez hitting .347. That's 8th best in the league. 17 home runs, 44 RBIs, tops in the National League. And he takes one for a strike, and it's 0-1. Phillies as a team have thrived in this spot, just as Ibanez has thrived all year long in just about every offensive category, including sac flies. He leads the league in those too. And it's 0-2.
And he's trying to stay away from turning one over into a double play right now. Ibanez will hit in double plays because he hits the ball so hard. He'll also hit bullets at the shortstop. So he doesn't have to pull a ball to hit it in a double play. He hits into double plays up the middle sometimes.
Victorino's on third, Utley's on second, and Howard with the infield hit is on first base. I don't know if you remember Pat Tabler, who played in the big leagues for a number of years with the Toronto Blue Jays, a couple other teams. He was always considered one of the best guys with the bases loaded in Major League Baseball.
Been a broadcaster for them.
2-2.
I don't know if he's still with them or not, but he did for a couple of years. I remember talking to him about that, how good he was with the bases loaded.
Well, the Phillies this year are the Pat Tabler as a team with the bases loaded.
Yeah, they've been good.
.425 batting average with the bases loaded. Second best in the majors to the Detroit Tigers. 2-2 to Ibanez. And Raul tries to fight it off and does, and he stays alive.
Well, he spoiled a good pitch there. A sinker down and away. And with 2 strikes, he went into prevent mode there. He's not sure this is a called strike or not. It would have been close, and he wasn't going to take any chances. Almost stepped across home plate there.
Hit back toward the middle. Ugla has it. Flips to second for one. Bonifacio a double play. How about that? Raul Ibanez hits everything hard, and he didn't hit that one hard at all. A 4-6-3 double play. Phillies strand 2. No scores. We go to the second. Park. Compliments of Teva. It's that green Shamrock Phillies hat. All fans received one of those. They came through the gates tonight. The Irish dancers were performing before the start of the ball game. And there's an awful lot of red in the stands tonight, but there's also an awful lot of green, too, all the way around from one spot to another.
It's like St. Patrick's Day at Bright House Field.
That's exactly right. Almost looks like a Christmas decoration.
It does.
Jorge Cantu leads it off here at the top of the second inning. No scores. The Phillies had the bases loaded and could not push a run across the plate.
It does look strange to look down there and see all that green in this crowd. Well, Badenhop stayed true to what he does, Tom. And he just kept pounding the sinker to Ibanez. When a pitcher keeps the sinker down like that and you have 2 strikes, it's tough to lift it. And he just grounded in a double play, and that's what that guy tries to make you do.
And Raul, as we mentioned, does everything, hits everything hard. And because Badenhop put that ball in a perfect spot, he just couldn't hit it hard.
Well, it had good movement. It was a strike. He had a swing at it. And very hard to hit that ball in the air.
Cantu to center field. Victorino's there. One away.
Cantu is not driving the ball, and it has to be his wrist. Because when we saw him before he hurt his wrist, that swing he got right there, the ball normally jumps, and it's not jumping.
Oh, he's just barely over 210 right now in the month of May with his batting average. Hey, the Cincinnati Reds are coming to town beginning Monday, July 6th at 7:05. It's a 4-game series, and it culminates with an Independence Blue Cross fireworks display post-game on Thursday, July 9th. You can get your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. I know we've said this often, but with the way tickets are going here in Philadelphia, and they are going, it is important to get your seats early. And you can log on at any time at Phillies.com.
Yeah, I mean, the games as it starts to get into the warmer months, the kids get out of school, it gets even tougher and tougher.
1-1 the count to Jeremy Hermida. And Myers throwing the ball well tonight. As Hermida rolls over on one there, and they're 2 away.
Throwing strikes, Tom. You know, and he's moved them. He's moving guys off the plate too. When Brett does that, he can really be effective when he uses both sides of the plate the way that he's doing early in this one.
So 2 outs for Brett. And Cody Ross stands in. Ross with 6 homers and 26 RBIs. In this series, he's 4 for 8. He's been one of the more productive hitters for Freddie Gonzalez's squad. And he takes one on the outside corner for strike 1.
He's getting a little off the plate too, away to some of these right-handed hitters, and you may as well stay out there. You won't do it all night, but you know, every once in a while you think you might be able to get one.
Well, Wally Bell, who's the home plate umpire, down on one knee. Doesn't have the greatest look on the outside part of the plate, and that helps the pitchers. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Dodgers have defeated the Rockies 8-6. James Loney 4 RBIs. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, the way he works over the left shoulder of Carlos Ruiz, and he's more inclined to call the pitch in than away. He'll get a real good look at the pitch inside and call it exactly as it is. And the one away sometimes, you know, they'll widen their strike zone a little bit.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Nope.
It's just if he's consistent, which he has been, that's what you want.
Same in the ninth as it is in the first, and the players are okay with it. Well, sort of. Not really. They're not really okay with it. They say that, but when they get banged on a pitch off the plate, they're mad every time.
So the count is full. And Cody Ross fought that one off, and he'll dig back in with John Baker waiting on deck. In the air to right, fairly deep but playable. Worth is there, and another easy inning for Myers. 1, 2, 3. Go the Florida Marlins. 6 up, 6 down for Brett. We've played 1.5. No score. watch, play along live online at csnphilly.com. Make predictions, answer trivia, compete with friends, and earn points to win great prizes. Play Friday Night Fever with Michael Barkan and Ricky Botalico Friday night at 7 by logging on to csnphilly.com. Keyword fever. That's fever with a PH at the beginning. Bottom of the second inning, it'll be Jason Worth, Pedro Feliz, and Carlos Ruiz as the Phillies try to capitalize against Burke Badenhop, who had the bases loaded in the first with one out, got a double play ball to get out of the jam. And Jason takes one for a strike. It's 0-1. See Jason's numbers: 255 with 8 homers and 26 RBIs. His base hit last night ended an 0 for 16 slump. And it's 0-2.
Had a real good swing last night. Stayed close as opposed to that swing where he really opened up. Stayed nice and close and hit that ball hard to the gap in right center. Sounds easy, and they all know what they're doing when they're doing it wrong. It's just how do you fix it?
He got a piece of that one to stay alive at 2 strikes. Badenhop back in 2006 was the Tigers minor league pitcher of the year. That was at Single A when he was 14-3 with a 2.84 ERA. Hey, it's pretty good numbers in the minors. He won 33 games and lost just 14.
Well, he doesn't look like a strikeout pitcher, but you know he's a contact ground ball pitcher.
And he doesn't get the outside corner there, and it's 1-2.
See, a sinker baller like him can run that. You know, we talk about Greg Maddux at fastball. He can run that back over the outside corner and get strikeouts. And he almost had one there. See, Wally Bell's getting some heat from the dugout right now because, you know, they're thinking, you know, you've been calling that pitch before. You know, where was it?
When Freddie Gonzalez, the manager, was getting on him, so was Mark Wiley, the pitching coach. Jason pops it up down the right field line. Cantu's not going to get to it, so the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Time now for our Geico quote of the day, and it comes from Jason Worth on his struggles. I don't think it's righties or lefties or playing every day or anything like that. It's finding your swing and don't lose it, and when you do lose it, coming out of it as soon as you can. That's part of playing every day. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 800-947-AUTO. Yeah, this stretch has really been the biggest funk Jason's been in most of the year. And it began on the road trip in that series against the Cincinnati Reds when he was hitless in 9 at-bats, and it kind of carried over this past weekend at Yankee Stadium. Milt Thompson had the guys out early today taking some extra batting practice. And that's part of how you kind of tinker with it and try to find your stroke.
Think they're talking hitting, those two?
They might have had a conversation on it. 1-2 is in the air to center, shallow. Bonifacio, the shortstop, calls everybody off. And that's the first out here in the second inning. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Gary Sheffield's 2-run double has given the Mets a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the first inning. It's Johan Santana against Jason Bergman in that ball game.
Well, Sheffield's knocked in at least 8 runs in the last 3 games against Washington, and you know you do think he's going to hit. The whole thing is how long can he play in the outfield before he breaks down? And you know maybe he'll go for a long time, but the odds are not good for the Mets that won't happen.
Pedro Feliz takes one low. It's 1-0. Pedro's had a good series to lift his average back up over 300.
Sheffield is a terrific DH at this point and playing the outfield for them. And hey, the guy can swing the bat and knock in runs.
Well, he's certainly done that over the last 3 weeks. Phillies are half a game ahead of the Mets in the division at 25-19. The Marlins, meanwhile, are 5.5 games back. They're in 4th place in the National League East. The Braves, who lost yesterday, they've slipped back to 2.5 games behind the Phillies. And they count 2 balls and 2 strikes to Phillies. And here are the National League East standings. Washington 12.5 back. They only have 3 wins in their last 20 games. And they had 11 wins when the Phillies were in Washington.
Yeah, when they'll be coming in here next.
That one's popped right back in front of us.
You know, teams like that are due, and you know, you want somebody else to beat. You want them to beat somebody before you play them.
All-star ballots are out, and you can punch your favorite Philly not only here at the ballpark, but you can do it up to 25 times online at Phillies.com. Three and 2 the count to Phillies. There's Carlos Ruiz, the on-deck circle. Bouncer over the glove of Badenhop. Uggla's right there, though. Looked like he used the second base bag to slow himself down, and there are 2 away. As Wheels mentioned, the Nationals are coming to town this weekend, and here's the pitching matchup. Ross Detweiler, one of the former #1 picks for the Nationals, will go on Friday against Jay Happ. Chiron Martis will go against Cole Hamels on Saturday, and then Jamie Moyer will go for career win number 250 on Sunday against John Lannon. And the Phillies just completed a 4-game sweep of the Nats, and that's why they're 7 and 2. Little pitching tutorial going on there in the dugout with Jamie and Jay Happ.
Phillies right now with 3 lefties in their rotation.
I was thinking about that the other day. The last time they had 3 lefties in the rotation at one time.
Oh boy.
One and 1 the count to Carlos Ruiz. Hit sharply at second baseman Dan Uggla. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Badenhop. So the Phillies are retired in order here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. We've completed 2. No score. One, 2, 3, bottom of the 2nd inning. Sam Perlazzo is the Phillies' 3rd base coach, and he joins us now in the top of the 3rd. Sam, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Now, let me ask you, have you gotten used to the ballpark? I know it's tough when you're not around it every day. This is your first real exposure to it. Have you gotten used to it?
I'm getting a little better at it. I don't think there's any question with that. Hopefully it'll keep getting better, and I'll get more comfortable as we go.
Sam, does it play a little bit small sometimes for a third base coach maybe to score a guy from first so you'd be able to score a little easier in a bigger ballpark?
Well, I think the gaps, the bigger ballparks is a pretty sure thing that guy's going to score. Here, it's not always that case. It depends on who the runner is. The wall's not quite as far back. And, the outfielders play a little shallower here. It's a little smaller park, so a hard hit ball ran at an outfielder with a man on second makes it a challenge.
John Baker leads things off, and Brett starts him off with one low, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. And I guess, you kind of not only look at the Phillies players, but look at the other team too when you're trying to gauge, what guys you could send and what guys you can't send.
Well, it is. It's a learning process for me. I think I've said that before. Each time we go in and play a new team in the National League, watching the outfielders, reading the scouting reports, watching as much as I can, seeing how the ball rolls out in different ballparks. It's a learning process. So, I think maybe the second time around each club, I get a little bit more comfortable.
Hey, Sam, your first year with the Phillies, in spring training, did you have to spend a lot of time trying to find out what guys could or couldn't do?
I did. I paid a lot of attention to it. I probably made a few mistakes sending some guys, but at the same time, I'm glad I did because it gives me a little opportunity to see some things that I may not see that, during the course of a season. You can go on whole spring training and really not know whether somebody can score or not. So you might have to take a few chances just to see what happens.
Well, I'm not sure if you just saw what happened there, Sam, but Brett Myers just had one coming right back at his coconut. He caught it on a line.
I just saw it. That's a pretty good reaction.
Oh, man. We're just watching the replay of it again. And, he had that one ball go off his head in Chicago a few years ago. And he stayed in the game, and he was fine by it. But, man, that was a heck of a play right there.
Yeah.
That was. That's quick. I don't know if you can teach that.
No. Oh, one away. Here's Wes Helms. Well, speaking of teaching things, everybody has really applauded Ryan Howard with the way he's played first base this year. And I think that he deserves an awful lot of credit. But, you deserve some credit, too, because you worked with him in the offseason. What did you talk to him about during the offseason?
Well, basically, I asked him right out of the chute, what is it you want to try to accomplish here? What seems to be the problem? And he didn't have a real comfort zone with anything. I really didn't want to look at film. I wanted to see it myself. And we pretty much, covered everything. I just wanted to see what he was going to do and how he reacted to things. We made some adjustments and see if he'd like him. And I tell you what, he's one of those guys that you don't run into a lot where you can say, try this, and he picks it up right away. So, I give him a lot of credit. I've been impressed with the way he goes about his business and the way he's been able to pick up things.
Sam, how did you help him with his throwing? He threw a ball away last night, but he looks like when he catches a ball first base, there's a play at second, like he wants to make the play down there. What did you do with him there?
Well, I think the first thing we did was lengthen his stride. In the first I saw him down there, he had a real short stride. He's a big guy, and he needed to go ahead and spread out a little bit. So we spread him out. Next thing I told him when he did spread out to point his toe at his target and then stay low. He's a big guy, but he still needs to stay down a little bit. And it may not look like down to you and I, but it is. And so, he got used to that. And, he wasn't great right out of the chute, but he worked at it and worked at it. I told him, you're in a good position just now. It's just a matter of getting comfortable with the arm slot and trying to figure it out and how to keep it consistent. And, he kept working at it. And, fortunately, when the season started, he made a couple good throws in the beginning, and that I think after that has been confidence. So I looked at last night's film. He did everything right. He might have rushed it a little bit. The ground was a little wet, but it came out of his hand, and he strided right. He was pointing his target and just lost it at the end.
Well, the Phillies as a team have played solid defense this year. You're coming into a situation where you have a Gold Glover at shortstop, arguably one of the best defensive third basemen in Pedro Feliz, who probably doesn't get a whole lot of recognition. What's your thoughts on this infield and the defense that they've played so far?
They've been tremendous. Just like you said, Pedro is just great down there at third. I don't know that I've been around too many guys that much better than him. You got Jimmy at short, and Chase just does, for me, Chase just is a grinder, man. He finds a way to get it done, and, you're confident when it goes to him because he knows he's not going to make a mistake that he shouldn't make. And, it's fun. It's fun to be around these guys. You learn a little bit, you help a little bit, and it's been working.
Well, Sam, we appreciate it. We'll look forward to talking to you again.
My pleasure.
All
Thanks,
right,
guys.
Sam Perlazzo, our guest here, as the Phillies and the Marlins are in the top of the third inning, runner on first. And I thought that was interesting what he was saying about Ryan, how he needed to stay a little lower on his throw. Because I don't know if you noticed it. I don't notice it.
didn't notice that. That's why it's so interesting to talk to those guys because you learn so much.
Helms goes. The pitch is called a strike. The throw is a little high. And West somehow steals a base, his first of the year.
Well, the reason he can steal in that situation is Ryan Howard's charging, so he gets a bigger lead. He'd never be able to get off the bag as far as he does. If you're holding him on, but with a first baseman having to charge like that, now watch, see him cheat a little bit, and he was off pretty far. And see, here he comes, and he's all the way out to this point as Ryan Howard's charging. That's why he's able to get there. And Carlos does what he can do, but then he makes a high throw.
So first stolen base of the year for Helms. 2 away. Top of the order now. Emilio Bonifacio, who flied out to Jason Worth his first time up.
It's a good job by Brett Myers too to throw some strikes. Fell behind him 3-1 there. And certainly don't want to walk the pitcher. Have the 8 and 9 hole guys get on with just 1 out. And he came back, and to his credit, threw strikes and struck him out looking.
To the count to Bonifacio.
Just talking to Sam Perlaza about trying to score. Bo Porter will have a tough time trying to score Helms with 2 outs even here because the outfielders are so shallow. There's Bo Porter, the former all Big Ten cornerback from Iowa.
A really good football player.
He's a Hawkeye.
He's a Jersey guy.
Yep.
Well, here's Ryan last night with that error, his first of the year. It almost looked as if it was a screwball, like the grip was almost off a little bit.
Sam said everything went fine till he let it go.
2-2 the count.
Watching that replay too, you got a little feel for what Sam was just describing, the way he squatted down a little bit when he threw that.
Off the end of the bat, Howard's got it. Myers is not at the bag, so Ryan will take it himself. Brett was there, and Ryan just decided at the last moment that Bonifacio wasn't hustling off the first base line, that he could take it himself. So he gets the put out. Phillies get the Marlins out here in the 3rd. Fans trivia question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan forum section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, who was the last major league player born in Ireland? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Come on, Wheels, going to work on that one. Right off the top of your head, right?
That's a good one.
It is Irish Heritage Night here at Citizens Bank Park. It's a gorgeous night. Now there's no score as Brett Myers leads things off here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Brett hitting $188 on the year. He has 3 hits and 16 at bats.
Got a little note here from Frank Fitzpatrick of the Inquirer. He's a big baseball fan and baseball historian, and he came up with Steve Carlton, Randy Lerch, and Jim Cotton, 78, 3 lefties.
The last time the Phillies had 3 lefties?
There may have been somebody after that, but those 3. Yeah, they were pitching for the Phillies back in 78.
Because we were trying to think off the top of our head, you know, the Phillies had Randy Wolf and Eric Milton together. Yeah. That was 2, but there wasn't a third, I don't think, at any time during that season.
That's one of those good researchers.
Jim Cott, all those years he played in the major leagues.
Kid, he was fun. Think long, think wrong. One of his many sayings.
Myers down looking for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Phillies baseball is brought to you by AT&T. Your world delivered. By Honda. You can depend on your Honda dealer for great leases and low financing. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your next trip at southwest.com. One away, back to the top of the order. Here's Jimmy Rollins. J-Roll fouled out his first time up down the right field line to Jeremy Hermida.
They made Badenhop work pretty hard in that first inning, not so much in the second. His pitch totals at 44.
And Jimmy just missed an extra base hit. First base umpire Marty Foster made that call.
Yeah, according to Marty Foster, this gets no part of the bag. And he's correct. No part of the bag.
Off the bat, it looked like it might get some of the bag.
Yeah, it hooked a little bit.
Jimmy out in front. Uggla's been busy. 2 away.
Well, this guy, you'll kill a lot of worms up there with that sinker and changeup. You keep beating the ball into the ground, and Badenhop's making pitches.
It's already the 4th assist for Dan Uggla. And I guess with the Phillies left-handed hitters that they have, that tells you that changeup and the sinker are running away from the hitters, and they're rolling over. Yep.
Yeah, they're rolling it over. And, you know, it's easy to say that you have to take a guy like this the other way, but you really do. And it looked like Ibanez was trying to do that in his at-bat.
Shane, a little dribbler in front of the mound. Hit one of those new pieces of sod in front of the hill, but Badenhop's still able to throw him out, and he has a quick 3rd inning. So we played 3. Brett Myers will go back to work at the top of the 4th. Experience featuring 100 out-of-market games per week live on your computer and catch those you missed on demand. For more details, visit Phillies.com, where baseball is always on. Top of the 4th inning, Gary Matthews joins us as Brett Myers has been very effective so far through the first 3. Will face 2, 3, and 4 for the Florida Marlins, as the Phillies are trying to win another series, which they did so well with on the road, sweeping the Nationals, winning 2 of 3 from the Reds, taking 2 of 3 from the Yankees, and they're just trying to start doing it here at home.
Yeah, should be able to play a little bit better at home, but it'll come. They're starting to hit the ball a lot better.
Starting to hit the ball a lot better and pitch a lot better. And the Philly Fanatic's got a different jersey on tonight, and he's trying to find a seat out there in the outfield. 1-2 the count to Coghlan. I think he's going to need more than one seat there, Sarge.
Looks like it.
Coghlan, his first time up, bounced out to second. As Brett has gotten a handful of ground outs in this outing. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Got a little better breaking ball when he faced the Yankees, getting them to swing at a lot of hard breaking balls down and in. He's thrown some tonight, just haven't found it the way that he usually throws it, or the way he has been.
There's that breaking ball, and he's going to get an out on it. Coghlan hustling all the way is thrown out by Chase. 1 away. Hello, Gary Matthews. I'm Tom McCarthy. We are live from Citizens Bank Park. Another sellout crowd on this Wednesday night. The Phillies will have an off day tomorrow before they welcome in the Washington Nationals, who are up in New York playing the Mets right now and trailing in their ball game. And then the Phillies will head out west to take on the San Diego Padres and the Los Angeles Dodgers before they go to Citi Field to take on the Mets. Padres finally lost last night as they are taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks right now. Here's Dan Uggla, who struck out looking his first time up. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
As good as they've been playing, they're still 8.5 games off the pace. The Dodgers are just not letting anybody back in that race. And even after losing Manny, Juan Pierre stepped in.
Dan Uggla sends one in the air deep to left, and that one is gone. 9th home run of the year for Uggla.
Yeah, 9th against Uggla, 5th against Brett Myers. He seems to have pretty good swings against Brett. One of the reasons he was put in that number 3 spot, even though Ramirez not in the lineup. He's a fastball hitter. I would think this is a fastball. Let's just check it out and see. Fastball, middle in, didn't get in, and see you later.
So a solo home run for the Marlins. They lead at 1-0. And here's Jorge Cantu, who flied out his first time up. Pedro Feliz on a nice play is going to take care of him this time. 2 away. On Monday, July 20th, the Phillies will entertain the Chicago Cubs here at Citizens Bank Park. It's the start of a 3-game series, and it finishes off on Wednesday the 22nd at 1:05 with the Citizens Bank Business Person Special and a Modell's Kids Run the Bases following the game. You can order your tickets by logging on to Phillies.com. And speaking of the Cubs, they won today 5-2 over the Pirates as Reed Johnson hit a 2-run home run. Carlos Zambrano was ejected by Mark Carlson in the 7th inning, and the argument got so heated that Zambrano made contact with Mark Carlson, which is a no-no, Sarge.
Yeah, it is a no-no, but I think they both made contact with each other, so it'll be interesting to see exactly what the punishment would be.
Little fly ball to center field. And despite the home run, Myers has a relatively easy inning with his pitch count. Dan Uggla, though, gives the Florida Marlins a 1-0 lead with his 9th home run of the year. A solo shot against Brett Myers. Now we go to the bottom of the 4th. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Philadelphia Phillies, by your Quality Plus Ford dealers, and by Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW. Gorgeous night here in South Philadelphia. In fact, it warmed up nicely today after a very cool morning and a very cool day yesterday. And as Charlie said today, it's more like hitting weather today than it was yesterday.
Right, it sure is. Weather's been a little tricky, don't you think?
It sure has been. Chase Utley leads things off. And he takes a sinker for a strike, and it's 0-1. Chase singled his first time up. The Phillies had the bases loaded with one away in the bottom of the first, but couldn't score. I'm not sure how Bert Badenhop is going to do as this game moves on, but Freddie Gonzalez said that he would be somewhere between 65 and 70 pitches. I'll tell you what, the way he has thrown his sinker tonight, it may be a good thing that he's out of this game soon.
Yeah, he's starting to get a lot of confidence, and he's making his pitches, more or less, though, keeping that ball low and keeping it low with some movement.
Chase lines one right at Dan Uggla. One away. Well, earlier today at Franklin Square, Sarge and the Phillies ball girls and the Philly Fanatic, they were on hand as this beautiful Phillies sculpture, sand sculpture, was unveiled, inspired by the world champion Philadelphia Phillies. That is unbelievable.
I got to tell you, it was really nice being out there this morning, and you didn't know what you were going to see, but take a look at that.
That's 150 tons of sand.
Yeah, usually takes them a couple of weeks to be able to put that together.
It was constructed by Sandscapes, which is a California-based company. They've built more than 1,000 sculptures, and we said the Phillies ball girls were there today. Every inch of sand was hand sculpted, so there were no buckets that you use down the shore. You know how you go to the beach with your kids and you're sitting there with the buckets. They didn't use those. No. So was it impressive?
Oh, very. I mean, that's a talent to be able to carve that and to make it the way that it is. Philly Fanatic up there had the World Championship trophy that was carved in.
1-2 the count to Ryan Howard, who reached on an infield single his first time up.
The guy's got to make him get the ball up some. Wally Bell, however, more of a pitcher's type of an umpire, meaning that he's going to call some balls that might be off the plate, both in and out and both down and up. A lot of times you talk about umpires that are more for hitters, meaning that they call the ball just about on the plate. Sinker ball pitchers, you got to make them get the ball up. Just trying to square the ball. And he does have a lot of movement.
Got that one up, but it was a breaking pitch. And the count remains 2-2.
Got him on a slider.
Well, there's Sarge in front of that sand sculpture today, looking sharp. Dave Buck, one of the Phillies vice presidents, to the right. And, of course, the two of the Phillies ball girls are there with the Philly Fanatic. Now, Sarge, who's the guy?
He's an actor.
Oh, he's an actor.
Yeah, he's an actor, or he's just acting in the uniform. Although he did have some wax that was on his mustache, and that looked pretty good.
It's an old-school Phillies uniform there.
My.
2-2 is lined the opposite way. A base hit for Howard. He goes against the shift. And he's going to get 2 out of this one. A one-out double for Big Ryan. And he's in scoring position. It's his 12th double of the year. Pretty good piece of hitting right there.
Well, it sure was. And he kept that bat level, staying down on it. Just a line drive into left field. Well, he does hit that ball hard and not trying. Let's see. That ball there, middle in. And again, that's just where he catches the ball, and he hits that ball to left field. Well, Ryan's not going up there saying, okay, I'm going to drive this ball in the left. He wants to just stay back and square the ball up. He gets his second hit tonight. Like to see him starting to hit the ball hard.
Particularly the opposite way. So he's aboard in scoring position. And here's Raul, who grounded into a double play his first time up. And they gave him a buffet of pitches off the outside part of the plate.
Yeah, just teasing him with that ball. He starts it somewhere near the middle as it darts toward the outside part of the plate. You try and pull it, usually get a ground ball.
Out in front of a changeup, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Don't see Raul Ibanez off balance very much. Stellar with runners in scoring position.
Fouled that one into the glove of Baker, so it's 1-2.
That tells me that Ibanez not seeing him really too good. He's trying to wait back, and then he tries to get out there and get it. He's not throwing very hard, 89, 90. He's had excellent control up to this point.
And Raul down on strikes for the second out.
Yeah, he is off balance. Not seeing that ball very good.
Well, the Toronto Blue Jays are all part of an American League homestand here at Citizens Bank Park. The Red Sox will be in town the weekend prior to the Blue Jays series. It begins on Tuesday, June 16th at 7:05. On Wednesday the 17th, the Phillies will honor Jackie Robinson before the ball game. And then, of course, on Thursday, it's a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. You can order your tickets now by calling 215-463-1000 or logging on to Phillies.com. And there you see the Blue Jays. They lost again today, this time in 11 innings. They have lost 9 games in a row, all on the road. It's their longest road losing streak since 1979 when they lost 10 straight. You better give Cito a call.
That's when your food, this is not the time to call him. This is when your food doesn't taste very good. And oh boy.
1-1 the count to Jason Worth.
Well, the time when you call, you like to get his voicemail, so you look up on the board, make sure that they're playing. Just tell them good luck.
So they begin play tonight. The Red Sox are playing this evening. 2 games back behind the Sox, who are in Minnesota. And the Yankees are a game back at the American League East.
That's amazing.
Ryan Howard leads off second. He doubled with 1 out. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Worth.
Yeah, a little slide piece there. Worth running out of bat. Watch this swing there. You can see again he's off balance, and not only that, he turns his head. Ibanez showing a little gum, wondering what kind of pitches that he struck out on. I'll give it to him. He's had some pretty good sink, and not just from the top. If you look at 65 total pitches, 43 strikes.
Called strike 3, and Worth is down looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Badenhop, and the Phillies trying to runner in scoring position. So Badenhop has stranded 3 so far this ballgame. He's at 66 pitches. That was the 66th. Top of the 5th inning, Marlins lead it 1-0. Sarge, we just had a marriage proposal here at the ballpark. And it's Irish Heritage Night here at Citizens Bank Park with the Phillies trailing at 1-0. And Eamon Tohill, who is from County Derry, Ireland, proposed to Colleen Conti. And they're always at Phillies games. That one rolls and hits right off the third base bag. And it's going to be a base hit for Cody Ross to start the 5th inning. Well, I'm happy to say that Colleen has said yes to Eamon. So congratulations to them.
Well, congratulations is right.
And here it is moments ago. The person behind Colleen looks to be ecstatic that Eamon has proposed.
She's happy.
She sure is. Well, congratulations to both of them. They are very nice people. And they're always here at Citizens Bank Park. And I see them outside and also saw them down in spring training this year as well. So good for them. John Baker takes a swing and a foul ball at the first pitch from Myers here in the top of the 5th, and it's 0-1.
At least she knows that you'll be seeing a lot of baseball games since she said I do right here, or I will. I could see you doing that.
At a ballpark?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I could have gotten away with that.
You don't think so?
No. I don't think I could have proposed to my wife at a ballpark.
Well, where did you get engaged?
I think I did think about it. As Baker loops that one into left center field. Ross is going to head to third. Ibanez's throw to third is not in time. Phillies was trying to be sneaky about that toss. And now the Marlins have runners on first and third with nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning.
Well, Cody's going to run on that just about every single time because Ibanez's momentum was going the other way, so he's got to make sure that he turns all the way around and throw that ball. Now Ross is going hard all the way. Now he knows that Ibanez has to be able to throw that ball and turn around and throw it. As he barely gets in, Ibanez with a good strong throw to third base, being able to hold the runner from going to second because it was a lower toss.
Here's Wes Helms with runners on first and third and nobody out, and the Phillies will play the infield back and try to get some outs here, even though they trail it already 1-0. Ross is on third and Baker's on first. A ground ball can be a double play and 2 outs.
Yeah, he's looking for a strikeout in this situation.
Well, he's a third of the way there. It count as 1-1.
I'd like that strikeout and then be able to get that double play, although pitcher probably would be bunting if he strikes out. See how it pans out.
Nice play by Carlos, and it's 2-1.
Biggest difference in tonight's ball game, and when Brett pitched against the Yankees, he was pounding the strike zone and then being able to get him to swing at that breaking ball. Well, for whatever reasons, a lot of times teams like the Marlins just difficult to get up against.
That's in the air to right center field. It's going to be deep enough to score Cody Ross. Victorino is back and he makes the grab. Ross tags from third, and the Marlins are going to lead it 2-0. Baker heads back to first. So Wes Helms has his 5th RBI of this series. After the series is over with, he'll go back to being the .215 hitter he was when the series began.
Well, again, it's strange. You get players that play for you, they don't do as well, and then when you see them, they're up against you. Driving in runs, hitting home runs. I mean, he's even fielding the ball, and he's happy right now.
So Brett trying to get through this 5th inning with no more damage. Badenhop already squared on the first pitch, and see what he does here on the second one. Squares it, bunts it right off the face mask of Carlos Ruiz. Last time he was up, he couldn't get the bunt down.
Watch this as it probably hits the bat and then bounces Oh, he just almost missed it completely as it took his mask off. Those are the more difficult ones.
And he's out on strikes for the second time. So 2 away. Finish the game with Michael Barkan and former Phillies pitcher Ricky Metallico's extensive game breakdown plus player reactions from Leslie Goodell on Sloan Toyota presents Phillies postgame live after the game only on Comcast Sportsnet. To the top of the order, and Emilio Bonifacio, who's 0 for 2. Marlins with a couple runs on 4 hits. Phillies with no runs on 3 hits. And if Brett can get out of this inning with only 1 run scoring, that means he's done a pretty good job of bouncing back.
No, he didn't get that strikeout that he needed on Helms, but again, needs to make sure you can hold him right there until that offense starts going.
Well, he is going to hold him right there. He gives up 1 run here in the top of the 5th inning, strands 1 as he retires Bonifacio for the 3rd time. 4.5 in the books. Marlins lead it 2-0. Park where you can watch the game, and that looks like a good one right there because of the backdrop and how comfortable it is here at this ballpark. And you know, Sarge, speaking of comfortable, Pedro Feliz is going to lead things off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Last year, defensively, he was an outstanding third baseman, but offensively, he struggled an awful lot. And you wonder if his back problems really did lead to his struggles at the plate.
Yeah, without him complaining at all about it. This year he's hitting a lot of balls to right center, hitting balls to center field, and he has his confidence. Up. So again, when hitters have their confidence up, he's staying on the fastball, not coming off, not bailing. Consequently, he's having good swings and then getting hits.
Well, he's 0 for 1 tonight as he leads off the bottom of the 5th inning. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike. I think a lot of us have had back problems before. I don't know if you've ever played with back problems, but
no.
None at all?
No, not at all.
You were a machine.
Gary Maddox did, and he said it was some of the worst pain that he had ever endured.
I just can't imagine you're able to twist your hips and get anything into your swing. As Pedro's retired for out number 1. One away for Carlos Ruiz. And we've seen guys over the course of baseball really struggle with back problems. Jim Thome, who played here in Philadelphia, had an awful lot of back problems and probably still does, and still has to make sure his core, his stomach is physically sound for him to swing the bat well. And so far so good for him since he went over to Chicago.
Yeah, you have back pains. It's hard to run, hard to be able to swing the bat. And you're right, even rotating is very difficult.
Carlos grounded out to Uggla's first time up. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, this kid has settled in, and again, throwing low strikes, but more importantly, getting movement on the ball. He's throwing a slider. He's come up with a cutter that he's been throwing and keeping the hitters off balance.
And you wonder, too, how long the Marlins are going to go with him tonight, because they said 65 to 70 pitches, but he hasn't really had to work too hard to get to 71.
And not anybody up in the bullpen so far. Throwing free and easy.
Well, that sinker has been real good for Badenhop, and you can see there it's working with 7 groundouts. A lot of those groundouts have gone to Dan Uglo over at second base. 3 flyouts, 3 strikeouts. I'm not sure if Freddie Gonzalez knew what he was going to get tonight. I guess you never do when you start a guy who hasn't started a game. But he's into the 5th inning, and the count 3-2 to Ruiz. And Carlos sends it in the air, deep to left field, way back there, gone! And Carlos Ruiz puts the Phillies on the board. His 2nd home run of the season. And this lead is cut in half. The Phillies are down 1, 2-1. And with that home run, Sarge, Scott Stetzler of Lenhartsville, Pennsylvania, has just won $200, courtesy of the McDonald's home run jackpot.
Yeah, just got that bullpen started. Just mentioned that nobody's up. Short and quick to the ball. Cadillac time again, hitting that ball to left center, no doubt about it. When he hit it, those line drives has a tendency to go. Take a look at it again. Not even striding, hardly at all. Almost like that 2-strike approach where you're not wanting to overswing. And a lot of times, that's when you get your best results.
Myers now standing in with the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Pedro Feliz and Ruiz have been hitting that ball in the bottom of the lineup, which makes it easier, especially if the top isn't clicking the way you would like.
Dan Meyer and Christian Martinez loosening up in the bullpen for the Marlins. Carlos talking to Pedro about that short stroke that you just talked about, Sarge. Meyer shoots it the opposite way, a base hit for Brett. You know, Brett was saying the other day that folks think he's a good hitter after his at-bats in the postseason last year. And he said, you know, I'm really not. Well, good hitter or not, he did a nice job just shooting that ball the other way.
You know what he's doing? He's actually putting that wood on the ball, not striking out. And when you do, good things happen. You find the hole as Ugla diving there in your pitcher. Let's see where this pitch is. Now, that ball on the inside part of the plate, and he takes it the other way. He's upset, saying, I can't believe it. But Brett takes a lot of pride in that hitting. See, he brings smiles over there to Milt Thompson, the hitting coach, as Ruiz is talking about hitting the ball. Scott Sheridan, the trainer, as he listens on.
Well, Mark Wiley, the pitching coach for the Marlins, ends his conversation with Badenhop. He's back to the dugout. He's thrown 78 pitches, by far the most that Freddie Gonzalez has seen him throw this year. There's one away in the bottom of the 5th at a 2-1 game, and the top of the order is up. Jimmy is flied out to right field, and he's grounded out to second base.
One of the things, too, he pitches inside. You know, there it is. You pitch inside, good things happen. Hitters haven't been as aggressive on balls that have been out over the plate and away.
Meyer and Martinez loosening up. Meyer, the South Jersey product. Could be a double play ball. Ugla to second for one. Bonifacio barehanded that one. It's the second double play that the Phillies have bounced into in this game. But they do get one back on the home run by Carlos Ruiz. So we play 5 here in Philadelphia. It's a 2-1 game. The first time this season. The May finale was a dandy against the Marlins, throwing 7 strong innings, putting up zeros the whole way, and punching out a career-high 11 batters. Blanton's resurgence is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Well, Joe Blanton had as good a night a pitcher could have last night. 11 strikeouts over 7 innings. I asked Rich Doobie today, I said he was really good last night. He said, good? He was great last night. I said, what was he doing different? He said he was pounding the strike zone.
Yeah, he was pounding it, and with authority, having that breaking ball or his cutter that he throws, then that slider.
I think Rich is sleeping a little bit better at night after the way the starters have thrown these last 5 games. And you can even count today. Brett Myers has allowed 2 runs on 4 hits through 5. And he'll face 2, 3, and 4 for the Marlins.
Yeah, that's interesting you would say that, because instructors do have sleepless nights when their guys aren't throwing well. The guys aren't hitting, well, Milt won't sleep very well. And then Charlie, he has sleepless nights on both sides. So, again, that's because they care so much, as you see Milt talking to Charlie.
Well, Sarge, you were a hitting coach for a number of years. I can't imagine you having a sleepless night.
Well,
and I'm not saying you don't care, because I know you care.
No, I did care, and I used the philosophy that, it wasn't me up there hitting. I mean, I give them the tools, I tell them what they're going to throw, but after that, it's up to them.
2-2 the count to Chris Coughlin on the Toyota Major League scoreboard. Some good news up at Citi Field. Adam Dunn has hit his 16th home run. And the Nationals have tied the Mets up 3-3 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Again, the Nationals are doing that against Johan Santana. I would think after only 13 wins this year that Manny Acta, the manager of the Washington Nationals, has sleepless nights, days, weeks, and has had a sleepless month.
Yeah, he's been on the Rolaids trip there for the stomach. Definitely. And doing everything he possibly can, sending guys down to the minors, threatening them here and there, and they just, that's just not a very good team.
That one's toward the gap in left center field, and Ibanez isn't going to get this one. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. And Coughlin's going to stop at second with a leadoff double here in the top of the 6th inning. That's his first major league double. And it's his 3rd hit of the series.
See where the pitch is that Brett throws. Hanging breaking ball. See, the ball just splits the gap. No chance at all for anyone to catch it or to get him at second base. That's in no man's land.
No outs for Dan Ugla, who homered his last time up. And Brett is ahead. No balls and 1 strike.
Jim Presley, the hitting coach, would like their guys in this situation to be able to try and hit that ball to the opposite side. These are young guys, and they usually just swing for the fences. One of the reasons, too, Ugla's average is down because he does just that.
Well, the home run that Ugla hit his last time up was the 99th of his career. And you said it before, the reason he's in the number 3 spot is because of the numbers that he has against Brett Myers for his career.
Yeah.
Line drive to left field, a base hit. And the Marlins are going to get the run back to the Phillies score to the bottom of the 5th inning as Ugla is going to have his 2nd RBI of the night. This one a double, and it's 3-1 Florida. Back-to-back doubles for the Marlins.
Yeah, he threw him another fastball on the inner half of the plate when you don't get it in to Ugla because he is standing open. See how far he's open now. It's in. That's inside, but that ball is like down the middle when he's standing open like that, and he shoots that ball hard for another double into left field.
Cantu takes a breaking ball high. It's 1-0. Still nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning as Clay Condrey loosens up in the bullpen.
Those guys that are open, that aren't diving, you got to bury that ball inside.
Right at Pedro Feliz. He holds the runner at second and takes care of Cantu. One away. And that'll bring up Jeremy Hermida. Marlins as a team came into this ballgame with a .245 batting average. A lot of folks at the start of the year wondered what kind of offense they would put up. You know, if Hermida could duplicate what he's done the last couple of years. Ugla's leaning off the second base bag, and Ruiz noticed it. And he tried to throw behind him.
Well, the kid Maben, who was playing center field, he was sent down. They were really counting on this kid to play center field and give him some speed at the top. They changed his batting stance, and he hasn't been the same since.
Well, they also had hoped that Cantu would have a duplication of last year. Ugla the same. Bouncer back to the mound. Myers knocks it down. His only play is to first. And there are 2 away. Over to third goes Dan Ugla. He was nearly caught in no man's land, and he was fortunate that that ball was hit as hard as it was. Brett did a nice job knocking that ball down.
Yeah, if he catches it clean, he can actually get him over at third base. Take a look there at the rankings with the batting average at that .245 that Tom mentioned.
9th in the league in runs, 10th in homers.
The ERA 4.87, almost 5 runs here a game. That's not going to get it done.
And plus some shaky defense. Cody Ross swinging for the fences on the first pitch, and it's 0-1. Marlins have committed 38 errors this year, which, you know, is going to cause problems for any pitching staff.
Yeah, and that's, again, hard to judge pitching when you don't have good defense. They go hand in hand.
Three and one the count to Cody Ross.
Brett struggling with that control some, not able to hit his spots like he did the last game. And that's why this game is so difficult. I mean, very humbling game. You just can't always repeat what you did the previous day, whether or not it's 4 hits, whether or not it's 11 strikeouts for a pitcher when he Pitched his last start.
That one's in the air to left center field. Is right toward the gap, and that one is gone. 2-run home run for Cody Ross, and the Marlins are on top 5-1. Second home run that Brett's allowed in this game. And for Ross, that's the 6th hit for him in this series.
Yeah, that ball's got to be up out over the plate, more or less like a hanging slider. We'll take a look at it. Let's see the location on this pitch. You know, it almost backed up. You can see it right there on the barrel. His head is down, and there's that bat. When they flip the bat like that, just look for the ball to be going out of the ballpark.
I wondered if it would stay in because, you know, it was just to the left of the 387 sign. But when Raul sort of gave up on it, that was my indication that that ball was going to go over the fence.
And it carries out near the 374 mark as Phillies is going to go to the mound just to try and maybe buy a little bit more time along with Ruiz. And now here comes Charlie. That's exactly what was going on. And Charlie goes into a little bit of a trot. Haven't seen that before. I
don't think he's going to take him out unless Brett says he needs to come out. Scott Sheridan's going to follow Charlie out to the mound. I wonder if there's something bothering Brett.
Yeah, well, it may be. Well, he's asking him whether or not he feels he's all right. And the trainer, Scott Sheridan, is out going through the same thing and asking him.
He's thrown 90 pitches in this game. Condrey is ready if they need him.
Now, this is what probably everybody came out for. Okay, you can see how he kind of like,
back.
Don't know whether or not his back, legs, or whatever. But that's the reason why they did come out, and right away you saw Phillies. He noticed it.
Two and one the count to Baker.
You know, one of the reasons, though, if you are injured, you don't want to stay out there because you can re-injure something else.
Good off-speed pitch there by Brett, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to John Baker. There's Scott Sheridan, the Phillies athletic trainer. He's keeping a very close eye on Brett. Well, he thought he had him.
Almost looks like he's giving maximum effort just about on every pitch. You can see everybody looking. There's Mr. Ross, who hit the home run.
Ball 4, Baker's aboard. I think Charlie's going to come out and get Brett Myers. Here comes Charlie Manuel. I think that's going to be it for Brett. This is technically the first visit to the mound in this inning because the last one was a visit with the trainer. Condrey is ready. You know, a couple starts ago against the St. Louis Cardinals, at the end of his outing, Brett was showing a little bit of pain as he was coming off the bench, almost as if the back was bothering him. And you wonder if that back is acting up here. He's allowed 5 runs on 7 hits. Clay Condrey's going to take over for him here at the top of the 6th inning. We'll tell you about Clay's numbers when we return. pain or not on the bench, but obviously his back was bothering him during this last inning. Not because he gave up the home run or the 2 doubles. You could just see it on his face.
Yeah, he's grimacing, doing a little grimacing on the bench even now. So we'll just see what happens.
Here's Clay Condry's numbers. 24th ball game for Clay, 4-0 with a 2.19 ERA. And he has had himself a very good start to this season. Tied for second in the National League in wins out of the bullpen, 8th in innings, facing Wes Helms. Right before we came back from commercial, there's Brett trying to readjust himself, and you can see how he's wincing with almost every move that he makes on the bench. Well, 15 come from behind wins for the Phillies this year, and if they're going to win it for Charlie Manuel and Brett Myers and take him off the hook, it's going to have to be another come from behind victory.
Well, the game is still very manageable, especially the way the guys can collect and get hits.
Soft roller Jimmy, and he'll go the short way to retire Baker, and the inning is over. So the Marlins scored 3 runs at the top of the 6th inning. They strand 1. Coming up, Victorino, Utley, and Howard in the home 6th. McCafe coffees. Try hot or cold ice mochas, lattes, and cappuccinos. McDonald's. I'm loving it. By Acura. Acura. Advance. And by WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for amazingly low office product prices? Well, the concourse here at Citizens Bank Park, Cody Ross has given the Marlins a 5-1 lead thanks to his 7th home run of the year. And he has 6 base hits in this series. And now the Marlins will give way to South Jersey native Dan Meyer, who is appearing in his 23rd game. No wins, no losses, a 2.75 ERA. Burke Badenhoff was really good tonight for Florida, and he's in line to be the pitcher of record on the winning side, at least at this point.
Yeah, he did pitch well, kept that sinker ball down, had his cutter working, kept the hitters off balance for the most part.
Time to take a look at our Firestone leaders. And Victorino is 5th in the league in at-bats. Jimmy Rollins is 4th in the league, and Emilio Bonifacio is 1st with 197. Firestone, a tradition of innovation. Tells you that those guys are at the top of the order, but also says that they don't walk that often.
No, don't walk that often. But again, you're right, though, at the top of that order. Head swinging, not walking.
Well, Shane grounded back to the pitcher his last time up, walked in the 1st. So the Phillies now are into the Marlins bullpen. Shane takes one for a strike. Meyer was born in Woodbury, New Jersey. He makes his home in Mickleton, New Jersey, which is right in the same area. He said he used to come to anywhere between 5 and 10 Phillies games a year. Softly to the right side. And Shane is retired. Meyer is part of a bullpen that has been in flux for some of this season. You see they're 10th in the league in ERA at 4.47. And their biggest problem has been that they haven't tacked on runs, which they've done tonight. They did the first night of the series, and their bullpen has not been able to hold a lot of leads.
Well, let's hope that's the case tonight. Need base runners. That's how you get back into the game. Singles, walks.
Chase singled his first time up. He's also lined out to second base, so he's 1 for 2. Not that hard. Helms has it. 2 away. Hey fans, if you're looking to come to the ballpark more than one time this year, maybe 4 times, well, the Phillies Grand Slam 4-packs are the perfect combination to see some of the best teams and best games here at the ballpark. You can pick a hot game like one of the Mets ball games, one of the Friday fireworks, or Bradley's bobblehead, and then choose 3 more of your own liking. That's a customized 4-pack right there. You can log on to Phillies.com to customize your own 4-pack today. Ryan Howard has 2 hits tonight, a single and a double. Raises batting average up to 266. Dan Meyer went to Kingsway High School in South Jersey and then went on to James Madison. And it was while at James Madison that he really flourished. The Braves took him in the first round, 34th overall in the 2002 draft. And he went from the Braves to the A's. The A's acquired him in that Tim Hudson deal when Hudson went to Atlanta. And there were those that thought in the A's organization that Meyer would be a pretty good starter in the big leagues.
Has a decent fastball. He's getting that fastball up there near 93. And if you can get that breaking ball over, it just makes your stuff that much more devastating for a left-handed pitcher. Left-handed pitcher seems to have more lives than most.
Three and 1 the count to Ryan. Well, before he went over to the A's, Meyer's career minor league ERA was at about 2.5 as Brian Sanchez, the former Philly, is up and loosening in the pen. Doesn't matter what level you're on, a 2.5 ERA is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
And Howard lines one to right, but it's right at Hermida. Top spin produces the final out here in the 6th inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Phillies. We head to the 7th.
Phillies have not been able to hit in this ball game tonight against Badenhop and then Meyer last inning.
And Meyer's going to lead off the top of the 7th inning, so they're going to get at least one more inning out of him.
Yeah. Well, they got a heck of a 5 innings out of Badenhop tonight.
By the count, no balls and 2 strikes to Meyer. Meyer has 1 at bat this year. 0 for 1.
He's not real excited about being in there. Look how far off the plate he is. You can usually tell with a pitcher that doesn't want to hit. He'll stand pretty far off the plate. That's that old Larry Anderson look.
And he's down on strike, so he's 0 for 2 in his career as a hitter.
Well, it's time now for the Verizon Wireless Game Summary. Phillies had a shot in the first inning for a big inning, but Badenhop, to his credit, got out of that. And since then, it's been basically all Florida. They've hit the long ball tonight. Dan Uggla with a solo, his 9th of the year. He's also knocked in another run. And then Cody Ross hit a 2-run home run in that 3-run 6th inning. Badenhop in a start tonight did a good job for them. 2 sinker, slider, and good changeup.
Here's Emilio Bonifacio, and he bunts one foul. It hit him a second time, but he was in, or it hit him the first time, but he was in the box. And the count is 0-1. Bonifacio's fly to Worth in right. Ibanez in left, and he's also grounded out to Ryan Howard. Wheels, we were talking before about the Phillies having 3 left-handed starters in their rotation. And Carl Graber, our statistician, has done some research as well. He points out that in 2006, and I had forgot about this, that Jamie Moyer, Cole Hamels, and Randy Wolf were part of the Phillies rotation. And in 01, get ready for these names, folks: Bruce Chen, Omar Dahl, and Bonifacio's down on strikes, and Randy Wolf.
Well, you do. It does kind of fly by, doesn't it?
Sure does. Well, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizen 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Think about those left-handed starters. So many teams are looking for left-handed starters.
It was Larry Bowa's first year as manager, 2001, and those were 3 of his starters.
Yeah, there were days where Omar Dahl threw great ball games, and then there were days where it looked like, well, it just didn't look good.
He was kind of a soft tosser. So was Chen.
I saw Bruce Chen this past offseason in the winter leagues. He was trying to get a job, and he was pitching pretty well. Just as Clay Condrey is here, he retires the Marlins in order 1, 2, 3. He's retired all 4 batters that he's faced. It's time to stretch here at Citizens Bank, and the Phillies trail it by 4. Time now for the Dodge Stump the Fans Trivia Quiz answer. We've given Chris Wheeler enough time to research this one. Who was the last major league player born in Ireland? What do you got there, Wheels?
You could have given me till Friday, and I wouldn't have come up with that.
We could have given you till next St. Patty's Day, and I don't think you would have come up with it.
All right, who was it?
It was. We're going to make you wait. Raul Ibanez is going to lead it off here at the bottom of the 7th inning.
Oh, the anticipation is killing me.
Raul's 0 for 2. The answer is Joe Cleary, born in Cork in 1918. He also appeared in the game in Washington in 1945.
How long are we going to go along with these ones you cannot get?
0-2 to Ibanez. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. And thanks for playing Dodge Stumps the Fans. It is Irish Heritage Night here at the ballpark, and all fans receive that great giveaway.
My paternal grandfather was born in Ireland. I used to hear a lot of stories about they call it the Old Sod.
Old Sod.
Hugh Joseph Ferry, somewhere in Ireland.
I had family that were born in Cork, and I believe, according to my uncle, I still have family over there. I have no idea where it is, but they're there.
Matt McCarthy, that's been a shot at being Irish.
Think the hairline gave anything away?
You're Irish.
1-2 the count to Ibanez. Myers steps off. Doug McGraw was Irish.
Oh boy,
he was as Irish as they get.
They never could pitch him on the 18th of March. It was a no-no. 17th, he pitched every 17th of March. 18th, the man rested.
He pitched on every 17th of March, St. Patty's Day, and then celebrated.
He wore the green. You know, he came out one year where he had dyed his uniform green, and you know, everybody thought it was kind of cool. Nick Colosi was the umpire at the time, who was a maitre d' at the Copacabana. Also was his off-season job. Nick was a good guy, but he had no sense of humor about it. He made him go change it. We thought it was pretty funny when Tug came out in a green, not a green hat now, a green uniform.
When everybody else was wearing the maroon?
Oh yeah. No, they were wearing the home white.
Oh, okay.
You know, in the exhibition game in
I see.
Clearwater.
Yeah,
he had a green
yeah.
uni. Kind of stood out.
That's funny. Well, they took his lead. Ibanez down on strikes for the second time. They took his lead. It just took a few years because then they had the green jerseys years later.
Yeah, sure.
Well, the Fanatic can blend in like a chameleon with anybody. Celebrating Irish Heritage Night. He and Matt Maller. They had this great shtick going tonight where Matt was dressed up as an umpire and the Fanatic was kind of antagonizing him, and it led to doing the Irish jig. Well, Freddie Gonzalez is making a pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. Dan Myers' day is done. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we return. Leading the league in appearances for the last few weeks, Kiko Calero enters his 28th game. He too is out of the Oakland A's organization. just as Dan Meyer was. 1-0 with a 2.42 ERA. And Calero had a couple of good years with Oakwood and St. Louis, but he's having himself a pretty good renaissance with the Florida Marlins.
That's what happens with these relief pitchers. You try to catch lightning in a bottle with them. See, Broxton was 37 strikeouts. That's no surprise. You saw that Gregerson. He has a good arm. Gutierrez, strikeout pitcher. And Calero, who's a sinker slider guy.
And he throws a slider to Jason Worth, and he starts him out with the ball. It's 1-0.
But every year teams try to come up with guys that, you go to spring training and maybe one of them will help you during the year, two of them, and they'll come out of the bullpen and have a good year for you. Calero's doing that for Florida.
Marlins had that last year with that Joe Nelson, who's now with the Tampa Bay Rays. He parlayed his success with Florida into a contract, a longer contract with the Tampa Bay Rays. Nope, 2-1 the count. No, he went around, says Wally Bell. It just took Wally a little longer to tell us. 1-2. By the way, we just received word that Brett Myers left tonight's ball game with right hip inflammation. And Jason's down on strikes, 2 away.
We mentioned sinker slider, and he really loves his slider. And the right-handed batter, he's going to throw a lot of them. He got ahead of Worth, and then just, he threw that chase slider out there, and that's what he did. He chased it.
2 away for Pedro Feliz, who's grounded out twice.
Think about 2 strikes on a hitter. You can get a lot of outs with balls when you get 2 strikes on a guy.
It's the kind of night it's been. The Phillies here in the 7th inning are just getting through their lineup for the 3rd time.
Slider after slider. Well, they had that shot at Bert Badenhop in the 1st inning, and the Ibanez grounded into the double play, and then he was really good after that.
Scouting report said sinker, sinker, sinker for Badenhop, and he threw sinker, sinker, sinker.
Yeah, mixed in a changeup and occasional breaking ball, but he was mostly sinker ball. And this guy, the reports, are a lot of sliders, and that's what they're getting.
Another slider, and Feliz is down on strikes, and the Marlins strike out the side here in the bottom of the 7th inning. That's 7 in a row retired by the Marlins pitching staff. We've played 7, and it's 5-1 Fish. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 800-947-AUTO. Sold out crowd here at Citizens Bank Park. Irish Heritage Night. And the Fanatic each and every night going into the 8th inning does a little dance on top of the dugout. Tonight, he did some Irish dancing with some beautiful young ladies.
Was Was that show called Riverdance?
Riverdance, yep.
That's what that looks like, some of that dancing.
Fanatic looked like he could keep up with those young ladies.
He can dance. That Galapagos Island native can flat out dance.
I said he's like a chameleon. He can blend in with anybody at any time.
It's amazing with that size.
Dan Uggla's got 2 hits tonight. Jimmy Rollins knocks that one down. It's going to be 3 hits for Uggla. So he's aboard to start the top of the 8th inning.
And came in batting .203 tonight, and a big night for him. Jimmy's just going to try and go into a skid here and hope he can backhand and pop up and throw and hit the heel of the glove.
So a leadoff base runner for the Marlins. They're up 5-1 here at the top of the 8th inning. Brett Myers went the first 5 2/3, allowed 5 runs on 7 hits. Clay Condrey has picked up since then. You know, I watched today, Clay was doing an interview with Amy Fadul from Comcast Sportsnet. And he truly is one of baseball's, I mean, it's quiet right now, but one of their big success stories this year. I mean, he's
Absolutely.
had a very good year.
He did a good job here last year, too. But this year, as Charlie's mentioned, his role has changed, and he's moved him deeper into games. Now he decided to use him in this spot tonight to try and hold the fort and hope the Phillies could get something going offensively, but they haven't been able to do it. Now they got that nasty right-hander Nunez up in the bullpen.
Inning in the 3rd, scoreless so far for Condrey. And the count 1-2 to Jorge Cantu. There is Leo Nunez. And the Phillies have seen him 3 times before. And it looks like they'll see him again in the bottom of the 8th inning. Roller to 3rd, could be 2. Feliz to 2nd for 1. Utley over to 1st, around the horn. A 5-4-3 double play, and they're 2 away.
Pedro Feliz is so good, and what a great throw he gives Utley there. The second baseman coming across the bag, wants that thing above his waist so he can see it, not have to worry about the runner. Here's Pedro. He's just so smooth. Look where that throw is. Just belt high or a little bit above. Gives Utley plenty of time to do what he has to do. That's actually chest high right there, and he's going to use the side of the bag, have plenty of time to throw, jump out of the way, and no contact. And that's all because he gives him a nice high chest high throw.
Well, the throws were really the first thing that stood out with Feliz last year.
Well, that double play for a second baseman, you know, that's so blind for them down there. The last thing they want to do is have to go reaching for the baseball and then worry about that guy coming at them. That's how they get hurt, too.
Just 14 errors this year for this Phillies defense. And this is game number 45 on the season. Broken bat, and Condrey's going to get out of this 8th inning. So Clay Condrey, 2 1/3 scoreless for the Phillies in relief. He's kept it at a 4-run deficit as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Well, Monday, July 6th, the Cincinnati Reds will kick off a 4-game series here at the ballpark. And the Thursday, July 9th ball game, following that one, an Independence Blue Cross fireworks display. You can get your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. Don't forget, Tuesday the 7th is a Verizon Wireless beach towel free to fans 14 and under.
Hey, Tom, tonight, over 500 Marple Township Little Leaguers here and their families at the ball game tonight. And they were set up by John Nicholas, the Vice President and Chief Financial Officer for the Phillies. And his son was one of the people who threw out the first ball tonight. So a lot of people from the Marple Township Little League there in Broomall.
You know, this is there were a lot of folks that were throwing out the first pitch tonight. There were a lot of different activities that were going on down on the field prior to the start of the ball game. And it was kind of neat to see all the kids out on the warning track.
Yeah.
You know, all the Irish dancers out on the warning track as well.
It was his son, John's son, Michael, who was one of the people who threw out the first ball.
Very cool. Oh, we begin the bottom of the 8th inning, and Leo Nunez will lead things off. Speaking of Little League regular seasons are getting set to wind down as school's coming to a close. All those all-star tournaments will start getting underway very soon.
Those are fun. We didn't have tournaments when we were a kid, but you played an all-star game.
Right.
And that was always a kick.
Well, I went up to Williamsport last year for the first time for the Little League Little League Tournament World Series. That was unbelievable up there.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
1-1. Ruiz is skied in the air to left. It's not that deep. Coghlan makes the call on the catch, and there's one away.
Their bullpen has just been lights out here tonight, and a good job by Florida so far.
Well, this is not Little League. Although the Mets have been involved in a number of plays over the last few weeks, home runs that have been somewhat controversial. And they've got another one tonight. Daniel Murphy hit a 2-run home run that they had to review. What is it, the third time that they've had to do that for the Mets the last couple weeks?
And they've come out on the plus side all 3 times.
Right. And the Sheffield one the other night, as Stairs pinch hits and rips one foul into the seats down the right field line. The Sheffield one the other night, not to belabor the point, but I think Joe West and his crew missed that one. Now tonight, this one apparently was close, but the one the other night was ridiculous.
Indisputable evidence. Is
That's
that
what they said.
call it?
There's so many camera angles in this day and age. I was surprised that they didn't call it. They didn't reverse it by just the one they saw from behind home plate.
Well, if we have one in right field here, there won't be any doubt with that great camera we have in right field. Look at
Very
that.
true.
There it is. You have a home run there, you'll know what it is.
Major League Baseball is going to be applauding us for that kind of camera shot. Two and one to Stairs. Marlins have a new right fielder in this inning. Brett Carroll, who was just summoned back from the minor leagues, has entered this ball game in place of Jeremy Hermida. And the count 3-1 to Stairs. Well, if it's not the baby's first game, it's got to be first or second. And I'm not sure if he, and I think that's a he, just by the clothes wheels, is wearing a little blue.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he knows what's going on right now, but he looks like he's enjoying himself. Count remains full 3-2. Sends one in the air, deep to right field, away back there. Second deck home run. Man, the guy could just flat out hit a fastball. And Matt Stairs makes this a 3-run game. It's his 3rd pinch hit home run of the season. And the Phillies are within 3. It's now 5-2, and that was a long one.
Well, Nunez didn't want to walk. It looked like he just said, here, I'm going to challenge you with my best fastball. As you said, Tom, Matt Stairs just can really hit a fastball. Yeah, that's what it was. Right down the middle. Bang. They're easy to call, huh?
What a great swing.
They go a long way.
Right over the drive him out of here side in right field. And Matt Stairs has made this a 3-run game, well within reach here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, he woke up the crowd, too.
Sure did.
Yeah, everybody's coming to these games, you know, with all the anticipation of a good ball game. And the Phillies have just struggled so much here at home this year. And they want to get into the game. And they are a force when they get into the game here.
1-2 the count to Jimmy, who is 0 for 3. That home run we just saw is the 17th pinch hit home run for Matt Stairs. He leads all active pinch hitters in home runs. It's his 3rd one this year. I know it's difficult to duplicate it, but if you're a kid and you see his left-handed swing, I mean, that's the way you just load and just uncork it.
Maybe you don't want to swing quite that hard all the time.
That's true. But when you do swing that hard and you make that kind of contact, I mean, that's a pretty sweet swing.
Well, he is what you don't teach, and he still has incredible bat speed at age 40. How he gets that bat through the strike zone and generates that much power is amazing.
One and two the count to J-Roll. Now 2-2. So at this point, the Phillies are going to see Matt Lindstrom in the 9th inning. This is a save situation. Maybe they can get even closer. They're just trying to stay alive with that soft stuff.
Oh, he has a good changeup along with a 95 fastball. That's why Nunez, pretty good pitcher, and then they have him in the 8th inning. He can overpower a hitter or trick him. And he throws sliders to right-handed hitters.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Reds have defeated the Astros 6-1. Bronson Arroyo has thrown a complete game. Reds have 6 shutouts this year, and that complete game really continues to show what kind of good staff they have out in Cincinnati. 3-2 to Jimmy. Shane waits on deck, hoping that Jimmy can get on, extend the life of this inning. Ball 4, Jimmy is on. The Marlins pitching staff had retired 8 consecutive batters. They had gotten 9 outs with those 8 straight. And now the Phillies have tossed their rally caps on. And they got a little something cooking here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 1 run across in the home run by Stairs. And now Mark Wiley, who has nobody loosening up in the bullpen, comes out to talk to Leo Nunez, who's thrown 20 pitches in this inning.
Well, as you said, Tom, that was a really good at bat by Jimmy Rollins. Fouled a lot of pitches off and just trying to get on base, put a little more pressure on young Leo Nunez with some good left-handed hitters coming along.
Phillies with 15 come from behind victories. The Yankees lead Major League Baseball. See, the National League average is creeping up now. It's at 10. But the Phillies and the Brewers lead the National League with those 15 come from behind wins. Nunez will now face Shane Victorino, the runner on first. The home run by Stairs has fueled this crowd and put a little buzz back in this sold-out crowd. A change up over for strike one. Shane 0 for 2 with a walk. He's riding a 9-game hitting streak. Drive foul down the right field line. Kelly made a nice snag down there on the right field line.
That was a heck of a play.
It really was.
Wow. Look at this play. It's going Kelly.
He was just trying to get out of the way at first, and then realized, well, I can make a play on this one.
And had the chair. Got the chair out of the way. Good job.
One of the new Philly ball girls this year.
Get some airtime for that.
And the count 1-2 to Victorino. Wally Bell, the home plate umpire. He heard it a little bit for Freddie Gonzalez earlier in the game. Hasn't heard anything since. Jimmy goes. Pitch is pulled between the legs of Cantu into foul territory, and the Phillies are going to have runners on first and second. They're going to charge an error to Cantu, his 5th of the year. And the Phillies will bring the tying run to the plate here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, he's holding Rollins on, so he's right at the bag, and it's, you know, it's not a tough play for Cantu. But it ate him up. And now, all of a sudden, as you say, Tom, the tying run comes to the plate with 3 guys in a row who can pop one. And they don't have a left-hander left. They use Meyer up.
That is their only lefty with Reniel Pinto on the disabled list.
And Meyer did his job. Here it is again. Jimmy Rollins is running on that play, and Cantu just kicked it.
Jimmy was thinking about going to third, but he didn't want to take any chances with Chase Utley up at the plate.
He wasn't sure where the ball was. It looked like he was trying to pick up Sam Perlazzo. He just stopped.
Here's Chase. He's 1 for 3 and ahead 1-0.
Yeah, when in doubt like that, that's no time for a base runner mistake. Just stay where you are.
Chase with 2 hits in this series.
How about Rollins running there too? You know, he obviously felt that he could make it down by 3 runs.
Greg Dobbs was looming behind Charlie Manuel in that dugout.
Yeah, good change up there that he got over, although Chase Utley didn't think it was a strike.
Just 3 hits in his last 22 at bats from the 7th inning on, but he is. Well, there are certain guys you can just close your eyes and point to as the guy you want up in a spot like that, and he's one of those guys. And he hits one in the air, left field, pretty deep, backing up his Conwood. He's got room, makes the catch. Couple of steps from the wall, and there are 2 away.
Well, he hit it to a deep part of the ballpark out there. A little bit further to the left, and he's got a chance for an extra base hit or a flower pot homer. Here's the pitch. Fastball. Drives it pretty well, but out there in an area where there's room. Right at the 374, and Coghlan makes a play.
2 away, and now Ryan Howard will be the batter. Each manager looking over that lineup card.
Well, it's a battle of their bullpens right now. You know, couldn't have gotten any better for the Phillies. You know, Matt Stairs gets everybody into it. Good job by the 1-2 to get on. And now you have the guys up that you want. And Utley hit a ball hard.
Sure did. And Howard tonight has doubled. He's singled. Stairs looking on. And it's 2-0 to Howard.
He's really trying to crowd Ryan Howard. Fastballs in. They're 96. There's Chase, who just missed maybe an extra base hit there as he really drove that ball hard to left center.
See the two runners taking their lead. Phillies have great speed on the base paths. And Nunez spun around awkwardly.
That startled Jimmy Rollins too. 2 outs, you don't think they're going to throw back there. They're thinking they're just going to go after the hitter.
I didn't think he was allowed to spin over toward first like that. Oh, Ryan got a pretty good pitch to hit there. It's 2-1.
As he spins like that and steps off in one motion, it's okay.
Yeah, I wondered. I thought for some reason initially that he's still hanging on the rubber as he spun. There's Sanchez loosening up still in the pen. He's ready if they need him. Rally caps galore.
Boy, Ryan Howard had a rip at that 2-0.
Think you throw him a changeup here?
Not a bad idea. The only
fastball swung on it, missed. It's 2-2.
The only problem, if you do, then you go to 3-1, and then he knows what good idea fastball's coming. But he threw a fastball right by him. I mean, this is here's my best fastball. He was up a little bit, and the chase. I mean, he swung through it. Now Nunez has a pitch of decision here. He throws a change up here. You know, then he gets himself into that trap of 3-2. He misses with it.
Rollins goes. So does Victorino. Double steal. No throw, and it's 3-2.
And he threw the 96 up, and Ryan took it. You need a home run, you know, a base hit right now, and all of a sudden you're in a 1-run game in the 8th inning at home.
With Raul Ibanez on deck.
Yeah, I mean, the outfielders are really deep, and now Utley has moved way back at second.
3-2 the count to Howard. This sold-out crowd to their feet, and that youngster put the rally cap on about 3 batters ago. It looks like a lot of folks around him have started to put the same kind of rally cap on.
Well, you know, the crowd is really into it now. They've been just dead here all night for obvious reasons. Nothing was happening for the home club, but now they're kicking up a heck of a fuss.
What an ebb and flow of emotions there for that youngster.
He didn't like that swing and a miss.
No, he didn't. And Howard down on strikes. He climbed the ladder and missed a fastball. And the Phillies are down here in the 8th inning. They get one back, but they strand 2 in scoring position. The one they got back off the bat of Matt Stairs, where they strand on the strikeout to Howard. Academy is the perfect place for you. It includes uniforms, a trip to Citizens Bank Park, 14 great locations, 18 great weeks to choose from. You can call 610-520-3400 or log on to PhilliesCamps.com for more information. Well, Matt Stairs remains in the ballgame. He'll be in right field for the Phillies. And from right field over to center field is Jason Worth. So Shane Victorino's night is done. Jack Tashner is the new pitcher for the Phillies. So Tashner will bat in the number 2 spot in this order. He's in his 15th game, 1-1 with a 3.66 ERA. So the Phillies are within 3, and they've got to keep it that way going into the bottom of the 9th inning. Cody Ross has 2 hits tonight, including a 2-run home run. And he has scored twice. Talking to Jack Tashner, he was saying the other day that he likes this role that he's in the Phillies bullpen. He's not a situational guy. So that's how the Giants played him and pitched him. And he said he just wasn't comfortable in that role. And he gets Ross swinging on that check, and it's 1-2.
One of those guys that's much more comfortable starting an inning.
Oh, and as he said too, facing both lefties and righties, he said, I'm a lefty. He goes, I have okay numbers against left-handers, but I'm not a specialist. I don't have that one pitch that can get a left-hander out. Ross in the air to center field. Worth on the run. It's deep, and it's off the base of the wall on one hop. And Cody Ross is going to have his 3rd hit of the night. A leadoff double, a single, a double, and a home run.
Big nights for Cody Ross and Dan Uggla. 6 hits.
Six hits for the 2 of them. And only 3 more for everybody else.
Breaking ball looked like down out over the plate. Oh, that missed a home run by a foot.
I thought it hit the base of the wall from our vantage point. It hit above that.
Right on the top of right on the padding out there at the top of that short fence in front of the bullpen.
Baker bunts it in the air, foul.
See how much they want this 4th run here. And bunting Baker, the left-handed hitter against the left-handed pitcher Tashner, but at least on the first pitch, they're not even giving him a chance to pull. There's Freddie Gonzalez with the signs of Bo Porter. Guys like this, you wonder how much they've ever bunted. But they are determined to try and get that guy over, and they feel the best way to do it, at least right now, is the bunting.
He swings away, and it's 1-2. Oh, a reminder, this game will encore tonight at 10:30 on the Comcast Network. And also tomorrow morning at 1:30 a.m. on Comcast Sportsnet. One and 2 the count to John Baker here in the top of the 9th inning. Phillies trying to keep this at a 3-run deficit. And he got Baker swinging. And there's that out pitch against the left-hander. That's a pretty good pitch right there.
Yeah, and he got in trouble because they wanted to get the bunt down. He got strike on him, took it off, and then struck out. So knowing your personnel, they figured the best way to get him over was the bunt, that he wasn't going to hit the left-hander necessarily. I watch Cody Ross too. Cody Ross is a sneaky good player, and you don't get him over and you forget about him, he might try to steal 3rd. He did a heck of a job 1st to 3rding earlier in this game, got them a run.
Helms takes one on the inside corner. Pedro Feliz, the third baseman, keeps peeking over at him to see what he's doing because Pedro is way back behind the bag.
Yeah, and the middle infielders are way back too.
Helms tonight has a sacrifice fly, a single, and he's retired on a fielder's choice. He has 5 RBIs in these 3 games. Count is now 2-2 to Wes Helms. There's a young fan down there who had that ball in his glove. It hit off his glove, shot off the advertising panel, the top of it, and right into that gentleman's hands, the red shirt. Two and two the count to Helms. Ooh. Those are his numbers from this year alone. Ball 4, Helms is aboard. So Wes Helms draws the 1-out walk, and now with runners on first and second, Charlie Manuel will watch as the Marlins will send another former Philly to the plate. He's adjusting his lineup card because Ronnie Paulino is going to pinch hit for the Marlins. They could do this because they have another catcher, Brett Hayes, who we've seen pitch hit in this series, is one of 3 catchers on this roster. So they bring a better bat in Paulino up here to pinch hit in the top of the 9th inning. And Paulino facing the guy who was traded for in spring training. Phillies sent Paulino to the Giants for Tashner, and then within hours the Giants sent Paulino to the Florida Marlins. And a looper to right field that's going to drop in for a base hit. Rounding third, heading for home. This Cody Ross, the throw on one hop, not in time, and Helms will move over to third base, and the Marlins have gotten a run here at the top of the 9th inning. Now, Ronnie Paulino, a pinch hit single. And the former Phils now have 6 RBIs in this series.
Well, Paulino hits everything to right field, almost everything, and the inside out of that breaking ball. And Matt Stairs now the right fielder, so he doesn't throw as well as Worth. So Bo Porter had him coming all the way there to score easily. Cody Ross, nice little walking lead right there. Picked up his third base coach. Gives him a 4-run lead.
So it's 6-2. To Matt's defense, that ball wasn't hit that hard, and he was playing where he's playing right now.
Yeah, and you know it's you know, if you have a guy out there you're worried about throwing, you're going to stop him at third with 1 out. But in that case, he just had him coming all the way.
Bonifacio Helms is caught off third. Somebody missed a sign. They've got a rundown going. Ruiz runs back Wes Helms, and Phillies will tag him out. And there are 2 away.
Well, somebody had it squeezed.
It had to be Bonifacio that missed it because Bo Porter.
I didn't think so.
Bo Porter tells the base runner what's going on.
9 times out of 10, that is certainly going to be the hitter.
Paulino winds up on second. 2-5, 2-5.
Teams used to have an answer and all that stuff. They don't do that as much. But right there, Bonifacio is like, uh-oh. I hear some noise behind me, and that may be my fault. Wes Helms has got no shot to get out of that.
Bonifacio sends one to center field. Worth on the run. He's got a long way to go. Over the shoulder grab. That's a fine play by Jason Worth to finish off the top of the 9th inning. but the Marlins do get one on a base hit by Ronnie Paulino. Last licks for the Phillies. We go to the bottom of the ninth. To the rookie combine and check out some of the potential draft picks for this upcoming draft. Does not have a coach in his back pocket just yet. Here the Phillies, who go to the bottom of the ninth inning, will face Matt Lindstrom. With the Marlins leading at 6-2, with a chance to, well, sounds like a broken record, but win a series here at Citizens Bank Park. Lindstrom with 9 saves and 11 opportunities will face Ibanez, Worth, and Phillies. They're really going to have to spin the rally caps around in this inning. There's the Phillies, who got one back in the 8th, gave it back at the top of the 9th, and now must go to work down 4 here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Ibanez 0 for 3, has struck out twice. Also has hit in a 4-6-3 double play. There have been too many games this year where Raul Ibanez has not at least gotten a base hit.
Yeah, and I think everybody expected him to do that in the first inning with the bases loaded. You know, you're so used to him delivering and knocking in runs, and you know the Phillies had a chance to hit Badenhop with an inning right out of the chute. Didn't happen, and to the young right-hander's credit that he settled down, pitched well for them.
Yeah, Badenhop went 5, allowed a run on 5 hits, walked 1, struck out 3. And he is in line for the win if the Marlins can hold on. And Lindstrom delivers at 97 miles an hour, and it's 0-1. Matt Lindstrom was saying that his save earlier this week on Monday felt pretty good against the Phillies, just because he had given up that save down in Florida the last time these two teams faced each other, when the Phillies swept that series. Closers don't let a whole lot linger. They can't if they're going to do this job.
Short memory.
But just as Jonathan Broxton from the Dodgers wanted to face Matt Stairs when he was in Philadelphia, Lindstrom wanted to get back out on the mound against the Phillies.
Well, he's going to go out there and pump fastballs. He has a breaking ball, which he probably needs to mix in once in a while. But for the most part, he's just going to throw high 90s. Board said that was 99.
5.02 ERA and an 0-1 record in 18 games against the Phillies. And Ibanez hits it hard, knocked down, and then bobbled by Cantu, and there's one away. One out here in the 9th inning. I'll bring Jason Worth to the plate. Jason's 0 for 3 tonight, a couple of strikeouts. Now the Phillies will have an off day tomorrow here at home, and then they'll await the arrival of the Washington Nationals this weekend. And that'll be a 3-game series before they head out west. Charlie was saying today that the team plays very well on the West Coast, based on what they did in the postseason last year. I mean, they were swept by the Dodgers last season, and they'll face them next weekend. But I know we keep saying this, they got to start winning some games here at home.
Keep losing 2 out of 3s here. And it should, obviously you want to win 2 out of 3s. You want to play 667. That type of baseball at home, and then be good on the road, and you have a chance to have a good season. And they're very good on the road, obviously, and poor here at home.
Lays off 2-1. The difference between his fastball and his slider. There's Joe Blanton, who won last night's game.
15 on that one. He had a 99 fastball and an 83 slider.
Back to the middle, right between Lindstrom's legs into center field. So Worth is aboard with 1 out. And we talk about the road games. The Phillies have a lot of them coming up. They have a 10-game, 11-day road trip coming up after this weekend series is over with the Nationals. The series will culminate on Sunday on MyPHL 17. Then it's Comcast Sportsnet for 5 consecutive days, which will be before the national telecast on the 6th of June. An off day in New York, and then 3 against the Mets. But first, the 9th inning here and 3 against Washington. Here's Phillies. Pedro takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Pedro 0 for 3. Into the air to left field, hooking toward the corner, and Coughlin for some reason dives for it. That's going to help the Phillies. Worth stops at third, and Phillies pulls in at second. Runners on second and third with 1 away. If he played it on 1 hop, he might have held Phillies to a single. Who knows? But that could have been even more costly if Worth would have just kept on coming. But Sam Palazzo did the right thing.
Yeah, it's a fastball down. It's hooking the whole time on Coughlin. He's a hitter who they have playing the outfield. In that case, there's no reason to dive for that because you miss it by 15 feet. You're right. You're much better off staying on your feet.
And he wouldn't have played that on 1 hop anyway, Wills. The replay, it was by him, but boy, that could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah. That's one of those things where they'll talk to him about, hey, you're in a big spot in the game and score's a little different. You want to be diving for those.
Here's Ruiz with Stairs on deck. 1 away. Carlos 1 for 3 tonight with a homer. And he hits the fastball in the air down the right field line. Long run for Brett Carroll, and he makes the grab.
Well, you really wanted Carlos to try and get on somehow, some way, and bring Matt Stairs up as a tying run, but it didn't happen. This is why, because he hits a pinch hit home run here, way out, 444 feet. Was the estimated distance on that baby, and then they left him in the game just for a situation like this. And unfortunately, he's not the tying run, but maybe keep it alive.
He's got 2 runners in scoring position in a 6-2 game. Lindstrom has uncoiled 11 pitches so far in this inning. Stairs has a base hit in his career against Lindstrom. Base hit through the hole against the Lindstrom down in Florida.
Yeah, you know, this is a great matchup for him. Because you can't throw it hard enough for Matt Stairs. He's trying to get something middle in. That's what Matt Stairs will do early in the count. He will not swing unless he gets something in the zone that he has defined. And you know, you get the feeling he just cuts the plate in half early in the count. Another one way outside, you know, outside, and he's just not going to swing. He doesn't have to.
Jimmy's waiting on deck. If he gets up and the tying run is at the plate. He just guided that one over for a strike.
He had a take there. You're trying to get the tying run, as you say, to the plate, and Stairs is not the tying run. So it's more important for him to get on base and hit a 3-run home run here. Two outs.
Out in front of that one. As odd as that sounds, at 98 miles an hour.
Fastball. Now that's the zone he wants it in. A little bit middle in, and he fouled it back.
3-2 the count with runners on second and third. Two outs. Up high, ball four. The tying run is coming to the plate. That kid's going to be tired tonight.
He's going to sleep well tonight.
So Stairs will be pitch run four by Eric Bruntlett. Brunlett's on first, Phillies on second, Worth is on third. That run that the Marlins got in the ninth inning goes without saying how big that is right at this point. There's Sanchez up and loosening again in the pen. Quick chat between Mark Wiley and Matt Lindstrom. Worth is on third. Phillies is on second.
And the pitcher spot is number 2 in the hole in the lineup. So Greg Dobbs is out to bat for Tashner. Jimmy can keep the game going here.
Jimmy 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. And he's ahead, 1 ball and no strikes. There is Dobbs. Greg trying to time Lindstrom.
You're playing no doubles defense in the outfield. Everybody's pretty deep, trying to prevent a ball from shooting through. Jimmy has 1 grand slam home run. That was on the final day of the season a few years ago. He hit it right-handed.
Well, 1 here would be a beauty. 1-1 the count. The pitch. In the air to center field. Ross was deep, but it's right at him. Makes the grab, and the Marlins have taken 2 of 3 from the Phillies this week here at Citizens Bank Park. So Florida wins it tonight by a final score of 6-2. Cody Ross not only made the last out, but he was certainly the hitting hero for the Marlins. He and Dan Uggla, our Chevrolet players of the game. They combined for 6 hits, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and 5 runs scored. And the 4th place Florida Marlins have come into Philadelphia and taken 2 of 3 from the Phillies.